If you've been producing music for a while now but you still can't finish tracks consistently, this video might be the one that actually changed everything. I finished more than 200 tracks, I've generated more than 6 million streams, and I've helped producers go from 0 releases to more than 16 songs with 250k streams in 1 year. And the things that actually made the difference were none of them what I expected. When I started producing, I believed the same things most producers believe. I need better plugins, I need to learn about mixing, and I need more knowledge, more tutorials, and more time. And most producers believe this for years, because that's what the internet teaches you. Watch more, learn more, buy more, that's the path. But here's what nobody taught me. None of them is what keeps you stuck. The only real shift happened when I stopped trying to get better at producing and started learning how to actually finish tracks. So in today's video, I'm going to break down the 9 things I wished I'd known earlier. No mixing tips, no sound design tricks. The actual lessons that changed how I produce, release, and grow. If you can start and build great loops and great drops, but can't finish your songs, it's not a problem with your creativity. Loops are easy. Anyone can build a great loop, but a finished song requires structure, decisions, and commitment. You can copy your loop 4 times and it's still not a track. And here's what I see with every producer I work with. They can start and build an incredible 8-bar loop. They feel great about it, they have ideas, expectations, but after a while they don't know what to do anymore. And what happens then is every time the same thing. They tweak the drop, add a new layer and change the bass. Not because the song needs it, but because moving forward is almost scarier than stay in place. And the fix here isn't more creativity. It's having a clear process for what comes after the drop, after the verse, after the pre-drop and after the breakdown. There's a repeatable structure for every song you want to finish. And once you know this exact structure, you stop getting stuck at the same point every time. And this is exactly why finishing is a skill and not a talent. And it's the first thing I teach because everything else depends on this. This is the one I wish someone had told me on day 1. Every time you change the idea, you start the entire process. New drop, new vibe, new direction, back to 0. Finishing isn't about inspiration, it's about commitment. I used to start a track. I loved it for 2 days and then I felt something different and thought, wait, my song have to sound exactly like this. So I don't work anymore on this idea, I start something new and 2 weeks after this I was at the exact same point again. And the shift here is, once I commit to an idea, I finish it. No more direction changes after the first session. Refine and polish, but the core stays. Because the producers who release consistently don't have better ideas than you, they just stop changing them again and again. And in the end, commitment is what separates a demo from a finished track. The earlier you make this decision, the faster everything moves. I've never struggled with ideas. I've had a lot of them. But I have struggled with knowing when to stop having ideas. What I mean with this is, at some point in every track, more ideas just slow you down. Instead of finishing, you keep adding new things. Another layer, another section, another sound. And now I have a rule for this. After the arrangement is locked, I go into finishing mode. No new elements, no new sections. My only job from there on is to finish what is there and get it release ready. And that's what I've seen with most music producers I've worked with. They never make this exact switch. They stay in creative mode until the song never gets done. Knowing when to stop creating is one of the most underrated skills in music production. It's what separates producers who have just demos and ideas from producers and artists with real songs and real releases. One of my biggest problems was that I thought my mix isn't good enough. So I spent hours on compression, equalizers, tutorials and everything you can imagine. But in the end, the track still doesn't sound good. And what I understand here is, a better arrangement can't be fixed with mixing. The problem was never the mix, it was the whole structure of my songs. And my lesson here is, finish the arrangement first. Mixing decisions comes after this. When the structure of the song is right, mixing becomes easy. You don't need more sounds, more plugins or more presets. Energy in the tracks comes from change, not from complexity. Some of my highest performing tracks don't have so much elements you want to expect. Once I started asking what can I remove instead of what can I add, my tracks got better and I finished them faster. Once, one of my clients was stuck on the same track for weeks, and then we spent one session removing elements. 2 days later, it was finished. Knowing when and what not to add and what to delete is what makes the track breathe. Sending your track to 10 people doesn't make it better. It just makes it worse. Too many opinions destroy direction. You get 10 different takes, try to change everything, and then your track doesn't sound anymore like it's from you. I stopped sending my tracks for feedback before they were finished. Now, I just send them for feedback when they are done, or at least 90% done. And then I don't ask, what do you think? I ask specific questions I'm not sure about it. And the switch I want to make here is, at some point, finishing requires trusting you and your own ears. Nobody on Spotify or on any other streaming platform is listening to your track and is thinking about your compression settings. People don't listen for technical details, they listen for feeling. Your track doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to be finished. Some of the tracks I worked on and are the worst one on the technical side are the best one on the streaming side. The audience and the normal listener on Spotify doesn't reward perfection, they reward feeling and consistency. Done beats perfect every single time. I always thought that I have to find my own sound before I start releasing. But the unique or your own sound isn't something you discover, it's something that is built over repetition. After my first 20 finished tracks, I started noticing something. The same chord voicings, the same arrangement structure, the same energy. And I didn't decide that this is my sound, it just appeared. You can find your sound before you start. You have to produce yourself into it. And this is exactly why volume matters in the beginning, not quality. You can spend more than 6 hours in the studio and still finish nothing. Time isn't your problem. Without a system, more time just creates more unfinished ideas. My most productive sessions are not my longest one. I have a repeatable system and structure that takes my rough ideas to a complete arrangement in less than 3 hours. And this is the exact process I've used to finish more than 200 tracks. And the producers I've worked with started to release more than 16 tracks in 1 year. Not because I gifted them more time, just because they finally have a system they can repeat again and again. A system turns finishing from something that sometimes happens into something that always happens. It took me more than 8 years to learn all of these and more lessons. And if you want to save yourself some time, and if you want to start finishing your music consistently, DM me Launch on Instagram. Let's talk about your situation, your music, and let's start working together and finish your music.